Hi, this is Steve Yulberg for JamPlay.com, and in our Patriotic American Songs in honor of our country's birth on July 4th series, this is the one called the Star-Spangled Banner. Since 1931, it has been the national anthem of the United States. It was originally written, as many of us learned as school children, as a poem by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812. It was first called In Defense of Fort Henry, and it was published anonymously as a broadside, which is a way to get your message out in those days. You just go to the printer and say, I want this poster kind of spread all over the place. And it was a poem that had a lot of verses describing what he'd seen as he was as a prisoner on a ship watching the bombardment of Fort McHenry in, I think it's Baltimore Harbor. I think that's right. But then it started to spread, and there was a song that was very popular at the time, written by a British composer named, let's see, I wrote it over here, John Stafford Smith. And he wrote this song, and it became popular in the Anacreon Club. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's one of those clubs from a couple of centuries ago that you just don't quite know how they said it when they said it themselves. And this was called, after the name of that club, to Anacreon in Heaven. And it was a very popular tune that a lot of people composed words for, but these are the ones that remained and became the national anthem of the United States of America. And it's more than just a song for baseball and football games, and one we learn when we're school children in this country. It's one that's got a powerful national feel to it. I'm playing it in the G shape. I'm capoed at 1 because most times when this gets played in public for people to sing to, it's played in the key of A flat. And here we are. When I capo up at the 1st fret and play G, the sounds are going to be A flat. And it's a song that goes really low in your register and really high in your register. And so it's good to put it in the right place where you can get both ends of it. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, when the home of the brave. Now let's take a look over here. This is one of those songs that's in 3/4 time, like My Country 'Tis of Thee. And so each chord shows up as one beat, and the other 2 slashes represent the other 2 beats. The big long slashes are measures, and inside of each you're going to have 3 beats. The way I've written it out here, the first part repeats, but it has a different, when it gets to the end the second time, it's a little different. So I've written what in music language, this means first ending. The first time you go here, the second time you go here, and then go on until we get to the very end and stop here. Of course, like many of our national songs, and probably that's the case for many other countries as well, everybody knows one verse pretty good. Can't remember all the rest. So here's your task. When we're done with all this, Google the Star-Spangled Banner and find the rest of the verses and read through them, sing through them. We're going to start, this D7 in parentheses means that the song kind of starts on a pickup. Oh, say. So if you'd play some kind of an introduction, this might be the place you'd end, and then start on the downbeat. Oh, say. And say would come right here on G. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we, and so forth. We learned in one of the other songs that the D suspended 4, D, and D7 is a real nice movement. You have a little motion between each chord on each step of each beat of the measure. So right here I've gone from the A minor, manor yet wave o'er the land. It's just a nice little movement that you can do very easily. And if you're having trouble with this, go back to the first beginning lessons. There's a whole lesson on the family of D, and we talked about these chords and how to move through them. Now in here, there's a couple of little surprises. We go right away to E minor, and then there's a B7 E minor. We don't usually have B7 when we're playing in the key of G, but this is one of those songs that's more chromaticized, and so we have the E minor, B7, E minor. That stuff all goes together a lot of times when you play in E minor. So we get a little flavor of that right at the beginning. The other surprise chord is instead of an A minor, which would be the second step of the scale, if we do our G, A, B, C, D, it would normally be A minor, but this is one of those surprises where A becomes a major chord. But whether it's minor or major, it still sends us to D, which is what it almost always does. A is often going to take us to D, especially when you're not in the key of A. You're gonna do something else. If you're in the key of A, it can go some different ways. So let's look at the beginning part here. Let's just do this first line. Da 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 da, E minor, B7 E minor, A D, D7 G, D, E G G G G G, D7 G G G, E minor, B7 E minor, A D, D7 G D, E G G G G G. Now that got us to this place right here. Often when you're playing a 3/4 song, the thing that happens on the fourth or the third beat of the measure is not going to be as strong. You could sing this first part. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? It's not as rich, but it is possible in 3/4 time to always play just what's on the downbeat or the first beat of the measure, and you're going to get something that will help accompany the song. So if you're at that place where playing too many chords is too frustrating for you, make sure you always play the chord on the first beat. However, you notice that there was some richness missing by not having these. And what happens on the third beat, it just makes the song a little more rich and full. So if you can't do it to begin with, play it just playing the downbeats, but then add the other stuff in as soon as you can, because it'll be much more satisfying for you. If you need to go back and repeat that, go ahead and do that. Meet us back here, because what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start right here and take us to the end of the song.